You've asked us how to find the best replacement parts for your Frieling French presses and how to install and use them. We've got those answers for you today here on FrenchPressCoffee.com. A number of years back, Frieling introduced a dual screen filtration system. So I have here some replacement screens for one of these Frieling French presses. And I've talked about these in the past, but basically what you've got is a very fine mesh filter on top of a filter which is just not as fine, just moderately not as fine as the one that sits on top. This makes sure that you get that double filtration of your coffee. Of course, these are going to be used in any of your Frieling French presses, but you need to make sure that you measure your Frieling French press. So you need to measure that, and then you're going to match it up with the proper filter. If you have any questions about how to do that, you can check out a handy link down in the description of this video where you're going to find a chart that will help you to find the perfect replacement filter for your Frieling French press. What I have here is essentially all the parts that go to the lid and the plunger assembly for one of my Frieling French presses. Let's start off with the lid and the rod, and before I jump right into that, let me just mention, if you're going to replace the lid to your Frieling French press, make sure you know if you need a brushed lid or a polished lid. That's pretty important. Pretty easy to tell the difference, but we'll mention them a little bit later on here. So, going to take my rod and I'm going to insert it into the lid, and then next up, I'm going to just set that aside briefly, and we're going to put together our filter assembly. So I have right here the basket and the top of the basket and my two filters. And I'll just set these right on top. And again, it's just important to make sure that you're using the much finer filter on top of the second filter. Just place these together. Now, we'll take the top, set it like so, and then we're going to put everything together. Now, in my case, I have this nut removed, and you can put this nut back onto the rod if you wish. Here, put that together. Now, we're just going to attach everything. Attach the rod with that nut and just start screwing this down. Make sure you get it nice and tight, and this will come loose a little bit sometimes over the course of usage, so you just want to tighten it up. There we go. That's not going to go anywhere. And that replaces my filters brand new. And of course, it's good to replace your filters from time to time as they get dirty with coffee oils and grounds and things like that. That's going to affect the flavor of your coffee, and of course, you may not filter the coffee as well as you need to. So it's always important to replace these. Now, you can just simply place this back into your Frieling French press, and you're good to go. As I mentioned, there are different finishes for the Frieling French presses, so I've got two of those right here. On my left-hand side, I have a polished French press, and then I have a brushed French press on my right-hand side. Now, on the assembly that I was showing you earlier where I was doing the replacement of the filters, this has a brushed handle on top of it, and this is important if you're ordering replacement parts. You're going to want to make sure that you have even the proper finish for the rod that you are replacing, because those have the same finish as the entire French press. So make sure that you check that before you go to FrenchPressCoffee.com and place your order. But again, two different finishes to make use of here, which is really going to govern some of the parts you're going to get, specifically the French press itself, the lid, and the rod. And that's basically it, everyone. As I say, this was going to be a pretty simple video, but it's something that's important to know because, hey, who knows? You may find that you've got only some of the parts for a French press, and you can make a brand new French press from getting some parts that you need, various things like that. So if you need replacement parts, remember, go to FrenchPressCoffee.com. You can find everything that you need there. But if you have questions, comments, if we missed anything, get in touch in the comments section of this video. Find us at FrenchPressCoffee.com. And make sure to tune in for more of our videos giving you tips just like this.